Hello once again and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. Vyas, and in this episode I will be discussing insomnia. This is something that affects millions of people. You may have gone through a bout of insomnia maybe for a little short period of time, but there's a lot of people that suffer with insomnia over and over every night that they go to bed. So in this video I'll be showing you what exactly causes insomnia and what you can do naturally to help kind of prevent that or allow your body to get back that restful sleep that we need. Right? So now I'll explain a few things about the sleep cycle. So we've heard about how your body sleeps in waves. There's 4 different cycles. This vary from about 60 to 90 minutes where you're supposed to get what's called your REM sleep. This is the rapid eye movement. That's the lighter sleep where you're thinking about things. And then there's the deeper, which is called the delta sleep. This is where your waves kind of come lower and you get more restful sleep. Why is this important? Because in your delta sleep is where your body is producing what's called a lot of hormones, your growth hormone per se. Growth hormone is one of those that help your body recover from your previous state, right? If you exercise a lot, you need to be able to produce growth hormone to help recover, to break or repair what you just caused damage to. The growth hormones also kind of help trigger your immune system. You may have heard a lot of people that, if you're not sleeping well, what happens? Yeah, they're always ending up getting a cold, they fall sick. Sometimes you end up with a lot of immune issues, autoimmune issues and stuff. So sleep is very important. That's why they say delta sleep is the most restorative sleep. This is very important. You need to be getting that deep sleep. If you're not getting that deep sleep, you're losing out on a lot of things. Oh yeah, another big thing, if you're not getting good enough sleep, weight trouble. So for any of you that are having trouble losing weight, it's maybe you're not getting good quality sleep. You may have heard of that, so it is very important. Sleep is required to help your body also lose weight. Now, let's find out what triggers. So now there's different things that can cause people, or this insomnia comes in 2 different forms. There's one where you can't fall asleep, as in like you're trying to fall asleep, but you're staying up in bed thinking about all sorts of things. And then there's a lot of people that wake up at about 2 a.m. in the morning. We've had a lot of patients in the office who always say it's about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning or at night is when I always wake up and you're suddenly fully awake. So I'll show you what's going on at these times and what you can do for each one of these processes. So let's start with this. Let's say you're having trouble falling asleep, right? So at night you lay in bed, you just cannot, shut your mind off in some ways and you're just having trouble falling asleep. Well, there's a lot of different reasons for that. The big one is mineral deficiencies. Magnesium, potassium, calcium. When you're deficient in some of these nutrients, with everybody watching certain diets and you're not consuming enough vegetables, raw vegetables and stuff, we end up with a lot of these mineral deficiencies. So magnesium, potassium, and calcium are very important to help your body calm certain things down, and they're very common in nature, so they help you fall asleep. You may have heard the whole old story, where they say sometimes like having a warm glass of milk before you go to bed will put you to sleep. Well, it's some of that tryptophan effect of it, but it's also because of the calcium in milk. So that will help kind of calm the body down and allow you to fall asleep. Magnesium. So you can actually take about 400 to 500 milligrams of magnesium is what I suggest right before bed, and that'll help your body slow things down and you'll be able to fall asleep better. So try the magnesium. We've had a lot of great success with a lot of patients who suggest or who say that when they did the magnesium right before bedtime, they were able to get good sleep. Things to avoid. This is the big one. This is where everybody's notorious. I'm sure you and I, everybody, middle of or right before we go to bed, you're kind of scrolling through your phone, looking at some of the Facebook, YouTube videos, any of those things. That's one thing we got to avoid. Even watching TV. All this electronics emit blue light. Blue light is a stimulant to the brain. It's actually stimulating and triggering things where instead of relaxing or slowing things down, it's triggering things a little bit more. So we need to get rid of blue light before bedtime. So instead of the light, I'd suggest, pick a book. That's what I've started doing now. Just read a book for a little while, and that'll help you naturally kind of slow the brain down or just calm things down, and you can get better sleep. The other thing is melatonin. Melatonin is a supplement. It's naturally produced by the brain. So the brain works, we've heard of something like your sleep-wake cycle. It's called the circadian rhythm. As the lights go, or as the sun goes down, it gets darker, so your brain understands that and will produce melatonin, which is supposed to help calm things down or slow the brain down and allow you to fall asleep. But nowadays we are, all this artificial lighting that we're exposed to has triggered the brain into thinking, hey, it's still light, there's still light. So we stopped producing a lot of melatonin. And that's why sometimes supplementing with certain melatonin, I recommend about 3 to 5 milligrams of melatonin just to start off, to see how well you react to it, about 30 minutes before you go to bed. And that will help slow the brain down, or it helps fall asleep. Why does melatonin do that? Because melatonin gets converted to something called serotonin. If you've watched some of my other videos, you understand that serotonin is one of the other chemicals in the brain that helps slow the brain down. It's like the brakes of the brain. It can allow things to say, hey, calm down, we're okay, let's slow things down and fall asleep. If you're low in serotonin, the other neurotransmitters, there's epinephrine, norepinephrine, which are like the gas pedal, your accelerators. They might be firing too much, so you're constantly thinking, your brain cannot shut off and you cannot fall asleep. So I definitely suggest a little bit of melatonin, just 3 to 5 milligrams. Try it and see, and that'll help fall asleep. Now, let's get into the other part of the insomnia deal, where people wake up in the middle of the night and suddenly they're up, right? You wake up at about 2 a.m. and you're like, ooh, I cannot fall asleep and I'm ready for the day. Well, what happens with those people, it's a cortisol issue. It's an adrenal issue. As I mentioned, even the adrenals work in this little wave of sleep-wake. When you're up, you're supposed to have higher hormone level of cortisol, and as we go throughout the day, we actually dip in the cortisol levels. But if your body's system has shifted, what happens? So instead of that waking up at, say, about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, your shift, so it's waking you up at 2 o'clock, and you've got a big jolt of cortisol in your body, so it's waking you up. You're up, and you're ready for the day. So we always address the adrenals first for people that have an issue where they wake up in the middle of the night and they're suddenly up. So just taking care of, again, we know adrenals are linked to stress. So if we can handle stress better, meditation, listening to some light music or something that way, also been known to reduce levels of stress. We also test for your cortisol levels in our office. So we'll find out exactly where this imbalance is happening, and there's certain things we can do to help correct it and bring that natural rhythm back. So that's one big thing. That was the whole circadian rhythm, as I talked about. Now, the other good thing, or the best thing for this, is a simple solution, is sleep at the same time every night. That way you're training your brain and your body that, hey, it's time to go to sleep, so it starts slowing some of the hormone production down and you're able to fall asleep better. If you are one of those that, one night you wake up or you sleep at 12 one night and you're suddenly trying to catch up on sleep, so you try to sleep at 9 p.m., it doesn't work. So that rhythm, your body has this natural rhythm for everything. You need to be able to try and sleep at the same time every night, if possible. I know it's tough, but if you can sleep at the same time every night, it helps your body get back that whole natural circadian rhythm. So these are things. Now, again, there's also little different factors. If you're waking up exhausted in the morning, you think you're getting enough rest, you're still sleeping, but you're still waking up exhausted, there might be other reasons for that. Again, we talked about some of those mineral deficiencies, but there are certain things where maybe some physical pain that's causing you to stay up. So we always also suggest you sleeping with a comfortable pillow, right? A pillow is a big thing. If your neck is not supported and you're sleeping in all crinked up position, it's going to cause you pain. Might not let you sleep as well as you should. They also suggest sleeping in a room with a cooler temperature. So again, if you're trying to fall asleep when it's very crazy warm, you know how it is, it's very tough. So you might not be able to do that. So it's always a good idea to lower the room temperature in your house or in your bedroom and get it to a comfortably cool level. You will sleep better with that too. One more thing I forgot to mention. There's a lot of people that in between here that might be waking up because they have to go to the bathroom, bladder issues. That is a problem with insulin. People, a lot of times, sometimes people go to bed and you might have something sweet or you might have had a carbohydrate-rich meal. When you do that, it creates a lot of, like an insulin spike. Now, insulin, people know, any diabetic knows that they have to go to the bathroom a lot. You've heard of that too, right? So when you have higher levels of insulin in your body or you become insulin resistant, you have to go to the bathroom more often to get rid of or empty the bladder out. So what we suggest is not eating something very sugary or not high in carbohydrates right before you go to bed, which will prevent you or which will help stop you from waking up during these cycles when you're supposed to get that deep sleep, right? To go to the bathroom. So those are a few things. I hope it kind of helps, and again, if you enjoyed this video, please share it with anybody you know and comment below, and we'll see you in the next video.